Good afternoon, dear citizens, authorities of the government of Mexico, and members of the Mexican community abroad. I address you as the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the United Mexican States to the Kingdom of Glasstown, Fernanda Rascon, to present the first annual activities report 1 year after assuming this honorable responsibility. Since the beginning of our diplomatic mission, our objective has been clear: to strengthen ties between Mexico and Glasgow based on three fundamental pillars: the protection of human rights, sustainable economic growth and cooperation, and the defense of our migrant community. Talking about human rights, in this year the achievements were: we actively promoted a cross-cutting approach to human rights in our bilateral relations. We celebrated the signing of a work plan with pillars on human rights and international trade, demonstrating the ability of both nations to coordinate and work for mutual interest. In addition, we signed a memorandum of understanding with the Ministry of Justice in Glasgow to train the Consular Corps on international standards of migrant rights and non-discrimination, distributing informative infographics among these communities. Furthermore, we established an interinstitutional working group to document and prevent acts of xenophobia and abuse against the Mexican community, achieving attention and resolution of 17 individual cases of unfair treatment, which were corrected through diplomatic channels. Talking about our Mexican community of migrants, on this embassy, one of the firmest commitments has been to ensure the safety and dignity of the more than 12,000 Mexican nationals residing in Glasgow, including temporary workers and students. We created a special consular assistance center in rural areas with a high migrant presence and launched successfully a legal information campaign in Spanish, reaching more than 4,000 people so they could learn about their job, immigration, and human rights. We also promoted the establishment of a dignified and voluntary repatriation mechanism in coordination with Glasgow immigration authorities, unprecedented until now. This is a statement for the international community. But not only in human rights we have been working, we also talk about the Free Trade Agreement initiative. Throughout the year, we have actively promoted the start of formal talks for a free trade agreement between Mexico and the Kingdom of Glasstown. Finally, we have agreed with the Kingdom of Glasstown to formally begin the process for the formulation, ratification, and publication of this treaty. During the first half of the year, Mexico exported more than 3 million pesos worth of technology products, textiles, and agro-industrial goods. Likewise, Mexico received imports worth 2.8 million pesos. This trade exchange, although still limited, has enormous potential considering the work plan we have signed, as well as the work this embassy has done to facilitate trade. Among these actions to boost trade, we organized 2 rounds of technical dialogue, including forums with business chambers such as Coparmex and Canaco, and regulatory authorities, which have laid the groundwork for the draft treaty. We have a great team working for this trade agreement. We have Canaco, Coparmex, the Ministry of Economy, the Ministry of Foreign Trade, and the same authorities in part of Glasgow. Also, for this treaty, We had proposed several key clauses because we are public servers of the Mexican Republic, and this is our work. This is a great list of clauses to include in the agreement. Many of them are technical questions, but important clauses to include in the agreement. They help to our investors in Glasstown and also foreign investments. We are deeply concerned about the measures to solve disputes, the equal treatment for the investors in both countries, and the protection of the environment. Both countries are rich in biodiversity. We have a commitment to protect this biodiversity. But also, we need to make emphasis on these three clauses specifically. First, a human rights clause to ensure that economic benefits do not come at the expense of labor or immigrants' rights. An environmental protection clause in line with sustainable development goals and Mexico's environmental commitments. And finally, a technology and knowledge transfer clause to encourage bilateral innovation and strengthen Mexico's technological capacity through cooperation. In conclusion, our first year admission has been productive, but it also makes clear that diplomatic work requires perseverance, coordination, and strategic vision. The proposed free trade agreement not only represents an economic opportunity, but also a tool for fair integration that respects the fundamental rights of our fellow citizens. We will continue to work firmly, prudently, and loyally for Mexico's interests. This embassy has that commitment and will keep it until the end of my administration. Thank you very much. Long life, Mexico.